Oakland Raiders, Las Vegas, NFL Stadium relocation update before NFL owners meeting. Actually, less than a week, because if this were fast forward to the next week, Tuesday, it would be the third day. Well, excuse me, because today is Monday, the second day of the NFL owners meeting. Well, technically the first full day, because it goes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but really people fly in on Sunday. Okay. I have a lot of news and information to share. Now, first of all, I want to thank everyone for a fantastic Sunday live stream. How you doing, David? It was among the best. It was outstanding. It really was. Second, I have some. Hey, Barry Lee, how are you doing? Hey, everybody, how are you? Ronald, Barry, everybody, how you doing? I have some incredible news for you. And first of all, the news is this: that how do I put this? The Raiders don't own the land in Las Vegas. And the reason why I was pausing is I had a lot of conversations with people whose names I can't use, but once again, very high up. So I'm basically peeling away the skins off the banana and taking the parts of the banana that I can eat. In other words, present to you, right? And that's hence the kind of stop and thinking like, okay, should I say this way or should I say it that way, that sort of thing. Basically, the Raiders do not own any land. They don't even have an option in Vegas. It's not there. I was told that by a very, I'll just say simply, a Nevada elected official. That's a very broad brush. And they are in a position where they being the electeds in Nevada, like for example, the Las Vegas City Council, the mayor, commissioners of the county. How you doing, Andrew? Where they don't know or have a clear view of the Raiders' fiscal picture with their stadium proposal in Las Vegas. That's right, they don't. They only know that the Raiders are working with Bank of America on a loan, but they haven't seen anything like what I presented to you in a spreadsheet. The elected officials haven't seen it. The SNTIC staff, who are now staffed to the Stadium Authority, haven't seen anything. How you doing, Golden State Raider? No one. Hey, my moderators are coming in. No one, as they say, no one's seen nothing, right? No one's seen nothing. And so where we are is, not only has no one seen nothing, all right, that, I'll get to that question in a second. I'm just updating everybody. Not only has no one in Las Vegas seen nothing who is in a position where they should have seen something, they agree, the people I've talked to agree with the findings I presented to them based on the spreadsheet that I put out there and talked to you about last night. Zinsters, how you doing? How are you? You guys are awesome. You guys are just awesome. Now, this is a huge, as you know, I'm installing the mega tagging. And Athletic Fan Club says, we're in a freaking purgatory. The silly fan me wants to, yeah, I hear you. Purgatory is a hard place to be. I understand. I completely understand. Now, the problem is that additionally is that, first of all, the Raiders understand that they're going to have to pay the extra off-site transportation infrastructure costs, but they haven't determined what that is. I was told that, first of all, they haven't purchased the land. The Russell Road property is about, let's round it, say $90 million, all right? Then freeway interchange has to be basically rebuilt. That's the one between I-15 and Tropicana. Now that ballpark's at $200 million. I meant to check that, right, just to see what that would cost. And here, my idea In fact, I'm going to do that right. I'm here. Now, my feeling is if the owners happen to vote next week, and I don't know when that vote's going to occur if it does. Someone said I said it's Monday. If I did say that, which I don't recall saying, that was not correct. Okay, I don't recall saying that the vote will be held on Monday. There are people who believe it will be, but the owners will definitely discuss the Raiders' relocation proposal. But they could, and there'll be a vote taken, but they could simply vote to table the matter. There's that much information outstanding, and if the owners voted to allow Mark Davis to relocate, based on what I've seen, it would be a cruel joke placed on him. I believe I said that last night. I will say it again. It is a cruel joke. It's simply a cruel joke. Andrew Cipher, from what you are telling us, it sounds like either the owners are going to unanimously vote no or kick it down the can another year with all these flaws, unless Fortress punches Vegas in the mouth. Well, I don't know if Fortress will do that, but I do know that the people are constantly working. People being Fortress, the mayor of Oakland, a number of the people that involved, Ronnie Lott, they're constantly working on trying to get to yes with the NFL. It's a constant job. I talked to a ton of people today alone. Now, and I want to thank Ed Graney for flying to Oakland, meeting with me around this issue. It was a fantastic conversation. Ed is a reporter with the Las Vegas Review-Journal. I could not get him to do a live stream. Well, it wasn't that he didn't want to do one, but the frank problem is that it would lead him to ultimately feel the question about it, Sheldon Adelson, and if he did that, his boss wouldn't like it. I don't want to get him into trouble, so immediately punted on interviewing him with that question. I did interview him to basically say, hey, how did this go? And he has done shows on other networks about other sports, right? Like the NCAAs, okay? But this is different because it involves the person that owns the publication that he works for. So I had to be very sensitive in how I did that and respectful of his position. He doesn't own his own media company. Sheldon Adelson does. Let's see here. I'm going to say hi to everybody. Hector Vasquez, how you doing? Mr. Walker, how are you? Do you think Alderson is roadblocking purchase any land in Vegas? You mean Adelson? You know, that I don't have proof of that, but it sounds like interesting something to check out. Golden State Raider. Tickets did go up, he says. How you doing, Golden State? Moderators are here. Golden State. John Marks. Do I see... I saw... who am I missing here? I'm missing... Mr. Antonelli. Haven't seen him yet. Let's see here. Austin, how are you? AAG209. I'm very well. Thank you for asking. I'm doing well. Hector, how are you? Eric, how you doing? Frosty the Snowman. Frosty the Snowman. I love that. Let's see. I love that name. Let's see here. Frosty the Snowman. Frosty the Snowman. I like that. You've got, let's see, who else here? Mr. Walker, did I answer your question? And Frosty the Snowman says, Zinni, you're always so negative on Vegas. Actually, I'm not. What has the city of Oakland done down there? There's no plan. They have a plan. And they're hiding a plan at the last minute. That's actually not true. They have a plan. And I haven't been negative toward Vegas, if you actually bother to listen to what I've said. But since I haven't seen your name before, my guess is you're new here. And anyone else will tell you I have not been negative toward Vegas as a city. I almost got married there. I love the city. So when you say negative toward Vegas, no, I'm not negative toward the city of Las Vegas. Sorry. Or for that matter, Clark County. I've covered CES 8 times, 8 straight years in Las Vegas. Sorry. Now, let's see here. What else I miss? Sergio Vargas. I've said it before. It's all about the money. The owners will not let $750 million just walk away and have them stay in Oakland. But Sergio, the Raiders now staring about $1 billion in debt that wasn't there before because Sheldon Adelson isn't the angel investor. So what do you mean? Climate's changed. Let's see here. And it's made it so that it's a bad deal for Mark Davis. If anything, it's a better deal. Sorry about that. I got a little. It was some weird interruption there. But I'm back. There was just a little bit. Hey, everybody. Hey, John. Hey, Ron. How are you? There was a bit of an interruption there just for a second. I'm back. Let's see here. How are we doing, Austin? Ethel Crimo. How are you, Ronald? Let's see. Who else? Now, let me go back because it was down here. And Zinni, when all this is said and done, I'm buying you a steak dinner, man. Only one giving us facts. Hey, thank you. I love steak. I'm telling you. I will take that. That would be outstanding. Thank you very much. And I'm wearing my old Zinni 62 shirt. This is the old one. This is the first one. 11 million views. That's when I had 11 million. Now I have almost 70 million. But let's see here. Sewell Kong, Zinni, who's most likely to drop to the 24th and Raiders will select in the mind of Zinni? Wow, that's the NFL draft. Let me come back to that because I've been focused on this all day, so my mind isn't wrapped around that. It deserves an answer, but I just don't have it in my mind. I'm not wired to give that right now. I don't really feel like changing my programming, to be honest, all right? Now, Kim Dog, anything happened with Fortress Oakland before the meeting? Tons. Kiro Dog, you must have missed my update. I said yesterday that Fortress talked with the NFL last week. They have whittled it down to just the A's issue, and then there's reportedly going to be, on Saturday, I believe, a Coliseum public meeting on this, and a public send-off, really, kind of a communication of the plan and everything. Very exciting. Should be there at the Oakland Coliseum. When I find out more about the time, I'll let you know. Let's see here. Raider Live, $750 million doesn't benefit NFL, only the Raiders. Actually, it doesn't even benefit the Raiders at this point with all the other debt they've got. Fred Walker, with all these unanswered questions, how can anyone vote on this? Fred Walker, that's the question of the day. In fact, I'll mark on that. I'll mark that. And Mr. Walker has the question of the day. Question of the day. Fred Walker. F. Walker. There it is. Question of the day, F. Walkers. Zinni, are you a Raiders fan? Yes, I am. Let's see here. Airplane Blues. Hey, Airplane, how are you? So basically, Golden State Raider reports that his tickets were $1,200, jumped to $1,870. Woo! Go Cubs 2017 Major League Baseball season. Go Cubs! I'm a Chicagoan. Zinni, you make good points. Actually, it's Zinni, not Zini. But I was wanting the Raiders to go to Vegas, but I changed my stance. I want the Raiders to stay in Oakland because of all the problems you said Raiders are having. Yeah, it would not be a great situation. Let's see here. Yeah, that is a lot. Hey, Frosty the Snowman is asking you, Golden State Raider, are you going to renew? Now, John Marks, how are you doing, sir? And Frosty the Snowman, remember I have 4 moderators here. They watch you, and if they don't like something, they have free reign to block you. Sorry, just letting you know. Now, and I said 4, that's not including me. T.I. Howard, how are you? What, again, did you say was happening Sunday at the Coliseum? It's actually Saturday. And what I said, Mr. Howard, is that there is preliminarily planned for kind of a public presentation of the Lot Oakland Fortress plan. I don't have the time yet. That's what I was told, but I don't have any more specifics other than that. Raider Live. ESPN is having layoffs, and negotiating NFL fee will be a priority if Raiders go to Las Vegas. They'll argue they lost 30% viewers since LA, Bay Area, will no longer be able to broadcast Raiders. That's right. And not only that, they being the NFL, lost the San Diego metropolitan area to the Chargers moving to LA. So there's a lot of instability there that would be enhanced by the NFL allowing the Raiders to move to Las Vegas. They would have basically screwed up relationships with 3 metropolitan areas: St. Louis, San Diego, and the San Francisco Bay Area. People not familiar with the Bay Area like to think it's, half, all right? And it's, hey, you know what? It's basically, Oakland is at the center of the San Francisco Bay Area. Now, what did I miss here? Zen, how come the greater media is not publicizing the relocation fee, infrastructure fees, and all the other expenses? It makes it seem like Vegas is better. because they don't dig. Investigative media is all but dead except bloggers. Bloggers do more investigative work than mainstream media, like myself. So that's the problem. Let's see here. Airplane Blues, yes, Sunday at the Coliseum. No, it's not Sunday. It's Saturday. Again, Saturday, folks. Saturday. I'm writing in big letters. Saturday at the Oakland Coliseum. I have to say it's just a rumor right now because I haven't heard confirmation, but rumored public presentation of Lot Fortress Oakland plan for Raiders. There we go. Now, and there it is. Yeah. Now, see that? Okay. Let's see here. Larry McNeil still speaking on behalf of the Raiders. I haven't heard he is or not. I'll check on that again. Las Vegas News just got caught by a few bloggers for recycling old news. Yeah. Let's see here. Mr. Richardson, welcome. Now we have the four horsemen. Donald Richardson, John Marks. Well, we don't have the fifth. We need Mr. Antonucci and Golden State Raider. That would be the four horsemen. We have three of the four horsemen. Anyway, Zenny, did the rich owners become rich making dumb decisions like this? My tickets are up 1,100 to 1,500. Wow. You know, and the Raiders didn't even win. They did. Let me see. The Raiders didn't win the AFC West, right? The Chiefs did. The Raiders didn't win. What? You know, I mean, what do you say? I mean, what do you say? Wild card. Okay, fine. But they didn't get further than that. They weren't the AFC champions, and they didn't win the Super Bowl. By contrast, am I not mistaken that the Patriots won the Super Bowl, but they didn't raise ticket prices? Did I misstate that? Correct me if I'm wrong. All right. Let's see here. Donald, how's the weather in the Philippines, Mr. Richardson? Willie B, how are you, sir? Hi, Zenny. Been following for a while. Thanks for all your updates. Thank you for watching, Mr. B. Ronald S. Harris. His went up from $950 to $1,210 per seat. Woo! Oh, my God. Frosty the Snowman, does Mark Davis know about the plan? Yes, he does. But the question you're not asking, Frosty the Snowman, is how come no one in Vegas knows about their plan? Tell me about it. What are the numbers there? Do you know? Just asking. Now, let's see here. It's cooler today in the Philippines, says Donald Richardson. Excuse me, 89 degrees is cooler? Ed Rainey from this Las Vegas Review-Journal told me that he was happy to have left Las Vegas for a little while because it's 90 degrees there. He says it's too hot in Vegas, but you're saying that 89 degrees is cooler? Wow. I just want to make sure I'm processing that information correctly. Let's see here. We've got Frosty Snow. Is there any reason why I cannot hear the live stream then I get a ban? Frosty, I mean, you know, the best thing to do is to ask a question, we give an answer. I don't know. I don't find what you're doing bothersome. So hey, you know what? Everybody leave Frosty the Snowman alone. But Frosty, you know when you're being nice when you're not being nice, okay? So, I mean, you're an adult. I don't have to tell you about that. I don't think. Anyway, I see he's having, Frosty, I apologize, Frosty, you're having a technical issue. Yeah, if you want to have better screen performance or better live stream performance, you need to make sure you have more RAM because in this rich media era, your computer can fill up its RAM allocation with this very quickly if you have other applications open. You might want to restart your computer and take care of it that way because that's what I do. Now, let's see here. So what is the take on this by Ed of the Review Journal? Ed of the Review Journal says that, well, he believed until our discussion that the NFL would not chase away or run away from a $750 million subsidy. But what I presented to him was the same spreadsheet that I discussed and presented over the weekend. And it shows a $964 million loss for total cash flow for the project through 30-year lease life, and it shows an additional shortfall of, gotta make sure I keep these numbers in my head, of for the stadium cash flow itself, of $514 million. That's negative $514 million. So you've got a negative $450 million with respect to the infrastructure, and a negative $514 million with respect to stadium cash flow. And get this, the Raiders have not shown anyone, again, I'm repeating this, have not shown anyone in Las Vegas any numbers that show how they're going to pay for either of these two debt issues, all of which were caused because Mark Davis, I said this last night, I'll say it again, in acting in a way that was not a good faith style, allowed his relationship with Selden Adelson to deteriorate to the point where Mr. Adelson did not want to work with him. Because of that, these $1 billion worth of costs have been added onto the deal. Now, let's see. Zenny, we respect all viewers and comments as long as they're appropriate. Yes, that's right. Golden State Raiders speaks for me. John Marks, Raiders will own Oakland. Yes. Will it be, why would the Chargers and Rams have moved to LA in the last 2 years, having any effect on the owners voting to keep the Raiders put in Oakland? Yes, they would. Hey, Zenny. Hi, Blue Leonard. How are you? Is it possible the owners can vote yes on the move, but the Raiders can still stay in Oakland because of the financial complications? In other words, undo the deal? That is possible. Now, let's see here. Andrew Cipher. I wish the Airplane Blues, LA or Las Vegas. I would choose LA. Well, yeah. Now, Andrew Cipher. I wish the NFL would let the Raiders and Chargers play at the LA Coliseum on a weekend the Rams are on the road. StubHub Center can't hold that crowd. I envision an 80s LA Raiders highlight tape. Okay. Matt Cabrera, LA rather than Las Vegas. Yep. No. Gabriel B., how are you? Hello. Gregory Olson, I will be back. Have some work to do. Okay, Gregory, please. Welcome back. You're welcome with open arms when you come back. John Hakala. John, how are you? And am I pronouncing your last name correctly? Please let me know. John, how likely that Oakland would void lease deal if Vegas approved? I don't. Oh, I get what you're saying. It's quite likely after the first year, given the good faith issue. It is. Now, Zenny, do you know when your interview will be available to us for us to view online? We didn't do a full. Oh, he didn't want me to do like an interview where he was asking me questions. I can interview with him again. I did post an interview, a short one with him, but not something longer than that. In other words, I did ask if he would do a live stream, but he said his boss would get mad at him. I understand why, so I didn't press the issue. There you go. Now, he says, would the Fortress Group have a plan to resolve the old Coliseum debt? Yes. Yes. Now, Baja Nicanels. Hi, hey, y'all, have a good night. This is the third time being on here. My questions got skipped over. Wait a minute. Ask your question again. And again, hey, if you use Super Chat, you can use that Super Chat. It's like $2 and have your question posted so I don't miss it. Because what happens is these things fly by. Okay, they fly by. With Super Chat, you can lock it in, and I can see your question. It'll be right there in my face and won't be scrolling rapidly. Now, but again, post your question. I'll ask it. I'm sorry. These questions go by fast, man. John Hakila says, I'm close on the name. Oakland Raider fan 95. How are you? Maybe Mark Davis is raising the price so high because... Hold on a second. Let me see here. Sorry, I don't want to miss that one. Maybe Mark Davis. Oh, Frosty someone says he was cleaning out garage and he found a 24 by 36 inch poster signed by Ken Staber. Super happy. Ding. Now, Jerry Figueroa. Raiders are as I don't know what that means. Oakland Raider fan 95. Maybe Mark Davis is raising the price so high because he can't get real money to play for the Vegas Stadium. # stay in Oakland. Something is going on there with that. Now, when is the Las Vegas Review interview? That was it. What I posted on there is it. I couldn't do the longer live stream because Ed thought his boss would get angry at him, and I understand that. But he could do an interview of another kind. Yeah, we'll work it out. We'll work out something. Gay will be right back. Okay. Andrew Cipher, let's see here. Let's see. Andrew haha, I don't know what that means. Jerry Figueroa was just a prank. Barry Lee, let's see here. Okay. And do I think it's a setup that owners approve the move knowing that it's a bad deal and gives them an opt-to-force mark to sell? I've heard that, but in fact, we were talking about that today. I think it'd be either way. They could force him to stay in Oakland, and he could think, I'm going to sell the team. Either way. But in Vegas, it's such a bad deal. I don't think Mark would want to go out that way. The deal looks so bad right now that if Mark Davis is allowed to go in Las Vegas with the deal the way it looks right now, I don't see how it's going to change. He'd look just like Mo Green in The Godfather. Just being honest. Now, because he would be in huge debt. He would be under control of a number of people, eventually. Donald Richardson, Zinni's serious question, assuming the Raiders don't get the vote next week, will the Fortress Group go public with their detailed plan? They're going to do that before the vote. Let's see here. I'm going to do some more putting out of the this live stream that the live stream is on. Hold on a second here. I'm just owners meeting. Hashtag Raiders. There, like that. Okay. Now, hey Zinni, this is Bossman Father. Nice to meet you. Hey, Mr. Dixon, it's an honor to meet you. Your son is a fantastic genius of a communicator and needs his own show. And needs to be paid millions of bucks. He's got an incredible personality. He could be the next, you know what? Yeah, he could be the next Stephen A. Smith. I will say that right here, right now. He could be that. Now, FB Lassie, I wish Mrs. Davis would put a halt to this. My next payment is due in 2 weeks. Ooh. The owner's meeting almost feels like a playoff game. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Says Andrew Cipher. Airplane Blues. Oh, hell yeah. Get that updated plan. Possibly renderings before they vote. So it complicates the NFL owners. Yes. Crawford 371. Get Boss Man on first take as a guest. Yes, I agree. Airplane Blues. Totally. Zinab Omer. Will Oakland fans stay with the Raiders if they move to Las Vegas? There's a question. Hold on a second. I'll modify that. And I'll ask it. Zainab asks this. And I'm asking, what say you? Yes or no? There. Cool. I'm asking, what say you? Yes or no? Now, I'm going to put this out on Facebook. Let's see here. Nope, not there. All right, put this on Facebook. Another day of Oakland Raiders / Las Vegas NFL relocation talk. Join us one day. Post to Facebook. Hashtag NFL. There. Now, okay. And gonna do this again with the owners meeting. And I'll do this time hashtag Oak meeting. Cool. There. Now, let's see. How are you? Mr. Dixon is a 53-year Raider fan. He had that answer. No Oakland fans for Vegas, says Luciano Perita. Let's see. John Hiker, how big of a deal was it to the Raiders, the A's were signed for 10-year lease. Well, there are options. There are option clauses in that, so it's not this solid deal. But I liked the lease. I know others didn't. I liked it. If you look at the fine prints, I like it. Okay, now, no Las Vegas for me, says FB Lassie. Been through this in '81. It hurt like hell. Been going to the games since Frankie Field, starting in 1964, my first game. Wow, FB Lassie has a history like Mr. Dixon. Welcome. I'm honored to have you on the live stream. Welcome. Barely, I don't know about... Oh, John Alons. Did I pronounce that last name correctly? In your opinion, is Davis just creating all of this noise to get Oakland moving on developing a stadium plan? They have. Thanks to the leadership of Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf, the city of Oakland has its longest sustained focus effort on building a new stadium since 1996. We did the same for the Golden State Warriors in what is now called Oracle Arena. So yes. Yes. Hello, Raider Al. How are you? How are you doing? Excellent. How are you? Let's see here. Much respect. Absolutely. Now, Epilassi, honored to be here. You too. Willie B, do you have any knowledge as to what site the A's are leaning to? If not the current site, could they announce that sooner than later to help the Raiders? They could. They've been leaning toward Howard Terminal for some time. The mayor wants them there. But Howard Terminal has a very expensive infrastructure cost that comes and land prep cost that comes with it. About $200 to $300 million alone. So without redevelopment, it's harder to pay for that. The A's want to entirely pay for their baseball stadium. There'll be development around it, not just the baseball stadium. There's a way that it could be done, but I really believe the city has to use, and the Port of Oakland has to use taxing and refinancing to help the A's. That's the way it gets done. Let's see here. Guys, don't forget, hit that. Golden State Raiders. Thank you. Raider. Andrew Cipher. This wouldn't be going on if Lou Wolf's still in charge, right? You mean, in what sense? Well, I think Lou's not in charge because of the whole land issue. But because he didn't really want to be in Oakland. He never acted like he wanted to be in Oakland. Whereas Dave Cavall and John Fisher want to be in Oakland. They're committed to Oakland. It's a big change in attitude with the A's. Paul Dog, question. Barry Lee, excuse me. Since I'm not from Oakland, I was wondering, how do they not use Howard Terminal anymore? You mean, it was because one of the big major users of Howard Terminal departed years ago. And I forgot the name of that organization. Forgive me, but that's primarily the reason. Steely Blues, if Davis goes bankrupt because this is such a bad deal, the owners will never see their relocation fee since it will be paid over a 10-year term. True. Well, wait a second. The relocation fee affects the team, not Mark Davis. Now, the proper way to look at this is if the Raiders cannot pay their debt obligations to Bank of America, and given the analysis I use based on Southern Nevada Tourism and Infrastructure committee numbers, they can't. Then how would you expect them to be able to pay their relocation fee? People believe that because Mark Davis is the principal owner of the Raiders, it all falls on him. It doesn't. You have the team as separate from the board member. In any corporation that's a standard C Corp as opposed to an S Corp, that's the case. S Corp, you have tax... Well, I don't want to get into complications, but the bottom line is corporations are designed to shield owners from such debt obligations. So it's not Mark Davis. It's the organization regarding the relocation fee, okay? Now, wow. Lots of... Let's see here. Zinni, tell us honestly if you think we'll get enough no's to stay in Oakland. I will tell you honestly that I think the no's are there, but I'll also tell you honestly that I don't care if the NFL says yes to the Raiders to Vegas because it's such a bad deal. I think it would be a cruel joke. I think it would be a punishment to allow him to go there the way this deal is structured. If you haven't looked at my spreadsheet on this, or my videos on this, you should. You should really look at the spreadsheet. It's on script. No, I mean, it would be a joke, tantamount to placing him in a purgatory to allow him to do that. If you don't like Mark Davis, you give him that deal. That's what I say. I mean, seriously, if I sit there and they allow Vegas to happen, I'll chuckle. I mean, my first reaction will be to chuckle. Like, just like that. To be honest. David Hertz. Hey, David, how are you? Let's see here. Before I get to David's question, Jose Alanis, any news on the Raiders building a stadium in downtown Vegas? No. The mayor wants that to happen, but the simple fact of the matter is the Raiders don't own any land, so no one knows where the Raiders are going to go right now. The way the politics on a business level line up is close to the Strip. But Cashman has a much lower infrastructure cost, but it has one, than any of the Strip sites that have been discussed, particularly the Russell Road site and the Ball High site. Now, let's see here. Someone calling, let's see. Will there be a vote or will they move to vote back? Pinch Anthony asks. What do you mean by that? Will there be a vote or will they move back? Oh, or they move? Will they move to vote back? You mean to vote to move back? If they vote to let them go to Vegas, it could collapse, but it would have to collapse really fast, like within this year, and basically they would have to come back. The trouble is that Vegas wants them to sign a non-relocation contract, which the Raiders have not signed. Okay. Now, let's see here. What am I missing? What am I missing? Let's see here. Relocation fee is more like 500, 650 million. It hasn't been determined yet, but it looks like it's going to be up there. Why can't they share Levi's with the 49ers? And he lives on and let's see, Pad DeHoon lives in Las Vegas. Hey, welcome Pad DeHoon. How are you? Welcome. And I believe Walter Spargo is going to join us in a moment. Go Cubs 2017 ML Beeson. Yes, I will stay a Raiders fan if they go or not go. So if they go, so sad. If they go, sad. But if they stay, great. It doesn't affect me because I live in Denver, Colorado, which is home base for the Broncos. I don't like the Broncos. I have to ask you this question. Go Cubs 2017 ML Beeson. Do you go to Broncos games wearing a Raider jersey all the time? And if the answer is yes, do you get beaten up? I just want to know the answer to that question. How, or do you go with other posse? Do you go with a girlfriend who's, female bodybuilder? How do you survive in Denver? I just want to know. And the reason why I want to know is this. I was covering the 2008 Democratic National Convention, and we the media were taking on a tour of Invesco Field, and basically let's see here. I think there's someone I'm going to have to ban real quick, and I think, yeah, good, that was deleted. Why don't you just actually, the message was deleted, but I'm going to go ahead and block that person just so we have to deal with that. So there you go. Now, that person's blocked. Now, right. Now, sorry, but you're gone. Now, coming back to my question for Mr. 2017 here. How do you protect yourself at Broncos games? Do you wear a Raider jersey at Broncos games or around town? And have you been beaten up by anyone? Inquiring mind wants to know. I just want to know. And maybe you, he says, I went by myself to a Bronco bar in Denver this past season when the Raiders won. They didn't do nothing. Cool. Zenny just jumping on, was watching Dr. Death Periscope. I missed much, and yeah, if the guy is a jerk, block him. He's blocked. Now, let's see here. No fights. Oh, Jay Rivera, no fights, just munchies. Ha ha. Let's see here. What am I missing here? Andrew Cyber says Broncos fans piss him off. Bill Walter, how are you? Hi, Zenny. If they vote no, is that the final straw and time for Mark Davis to talk Oakland instead of running around the country looking for a stadium? Yes. Jay Cena, any update on Carr's contract? Not covering that here, but I can find out for the next show. Who wanna what? Screw Donkey and Queef fans? I don't know what that means. Okay. But who wanna what? I misread that. I was about to block you, so be careful with that, okay? Because if I block you, I'm like, ah! So just watch it. We have itchy trigger fingers around here, okay? Now, tell Libby to give up the land already. They're actually working on that, Jay Rivera. Bruce Wayne. Batman! What's going on with Alden Smith? Don't know, Bruce Wayne, but I think that Alden... I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to break my conversation about the Raiders relocation issue for a moment to discuss Alden Smith, who I had the pleasure of meeting and interviewing. You can go to Zenny62 here and find my interview with Alden Smith at some time. But he, I believe, suffers from, and I've talked about this with other friends, a problem that many young black men from the South have when they come to the Bay Area from the National Football League. They come out of that nice Afrocentric cocoon and into an area that is very much not Afrocentric. It's hard to find a truly tight black culture. It's harder here than it was 10 years ago in Oakland, because it's not just the decline of the black population, but because the makeup of the population has changed in a way that I could discuss in a long live stream. But the bottom line is, Alden is not the first person to have problems here. Ray McDonald with the 49ers. Even Jerry Rice had his issues fitting in here. They all hail from the South. And I can go on about how there's no adjustment here. There's no adjustment mechanism for young black men coming into the NFL from the South and coming out to the Bay Area. It is a unique and specific problem that should be dealt with. Now, let's see here. I hope I answered that question regarding Alden Smith, because I really feel sorry for him. I really do. I really do. Now, let's see here. Go Cubs says, no, I don't know how I'm surviving in Broncos country right now. I haven't been beaten up, but I know that they give me a hard time when the Broncos beat the Raiders. Oh, yeah, I was going to tell you my story about being in Invesco in 2008. We were given the media tour. Well, this large elevator opened up, and there were all these people with Broncos jerseys, and I said, Raiders! And they looked like they were going to kill me, and I just started cracking up. I mean, but they didn't laugh after I laughed either. They were seriously pissed off that I said that. That's why I asked the question, okay? Fortunately, I was with the rest of the media and a guide representing the DNC, and so they got the message that they couldn't screw with me like they might screw with a normal fan, right? Didn't happen. Now, let's see here. David Herta says, Ronald Harris says, Alden needs to forget football. He needs his life saved, or something bad's going to happen to him. Yeah, wow. David Herta, no free land, please. NFL has more than enough money to pay for land at market value. It's time to set the league straight and draw the line on extorting cities for money and now land. Andrew Cipher, he should at least be able, talking about Alden Smith, be around his coaches and teammates who want to help him stay out of trouble. Yes. Eugene Washington, hello, Mr. Washington. Will Marshawn Lynch come out of retirement to become a Raider? That doesn't look like it's happening, because the Seahawks are basically holding him, trapping him. Let's see here. Now, Willie B, it used to be that Mark's major hurdle was for building in Oakland was finances, if no vote. Okay, that was incomplete. James McClendon Zinster, I've missed much. Alden Smith seems like a good kid. Yes, he is. He is. Airplane Blues says, I think Alden is being scrutinized just because of his path. Yes. But, also he's made mistakes of association. And sometimes when, again, a young black man from the deep South comes to the Bay Area, he feels like he has to hang around people who he's used to and he doesn't want to give the impression that he's forgotten where he came from, right? But in doing so, you at times hang out with the wrong crowd and people who don't have your best interest in mind. They have their own, and maybe he's got some hangers on that he has been helping out. So one has to really be counseling and to be careful in those situations. Now, let's see here. Thumbs up if you want Marshawn Lynch for the Raiders. Airplane Blues, I will never blame someone for drinking alcohol or smoking weed. Well, I'm not blaming him for that. I'm talking about how you do it and in moderation and doing it intelligently. That's all I'm saying. But it's more than that. Look, you got very rich people, investment bankers, lawyers, elected officials who are smoking weed and drinking alcohol right now. Just saying. Bottom line is Raiders need to deal in good faith in Oakland. Yes, Mr. Dixon. We need our team in Oakland for long-term success. Yes. Ed Flores, what was Ed Garvey's take on the NFL vote on relocation? Well, until he talked with me, he believed that the NFL would not run away from $750 million in subsidy. But when I showed him the numbers that I presented based on the ESNTIC model, he changed his mind. He says now he doesn't know. So, let's see. Aeroplane Blues, Matt Cabrera, what's wrong with your... Okay, comments that keep getting deleted. Oh, well. Let's see here. Zinni is a G. Thank you. Go Cubs. 2017 Beeson. How funny, go Raiders. Let's see here. Looking for questions here. Barry Lee. Hey, Zinni. You know what would be cool is if you had, say, 3 or 4 guests somewhere in Pearson, a roundtable format where viewers ask questions. Hey, I like that idea. I really do. Hopefully not for San Diego. Right, let's see here. Question. You said the city is working on giving up the land for free. Will that be done soon or happen? I said they should do it. I didn't say they're working on doing it. I know they're trying to work out some type of land deal, but if I said that the city was going to give it to Oakland for free, I misspoke. I don't recall saying that. I said that I thought they should do that but they would draw property tax from that transaction. Do that, but do not give up the property tax. Take the property tax and the sales taxes. Don't abate taxes. Now, let's see here. If for some godforsaken reason this move is approved, I play Oakland sues the crap out of Mark Davis, put him in even more debt. Could happen. Jay Zena, is Ronnie Lott still handling the Oakland situation? Yes. Let's see here. Andrew Cipher, will Reggie McKenzie and John Schneider... Well, this is Andrew Cipher. Well, Reggie McKenzie and John Schneider should work something out. Reggie won't give up picks. Why would Seattle want to be on the hook for $9 million after they paid Eddie Lacy? Great point. This is big hateful. This is Carson 2.0. It does feel like that. It's starting to. Let's see. Robert Kyle Brown, like Jerry Rice, young black man from Mississippi. Yes. And I want to put a finer point on that. Jerry had problems with how he openly said this to the media, and it got him into trouble, public relations trouble, where he expressed open jealousy that Joe Montana got more attention than he did. This may have been before some of your time. And then there was that whole issue with the massage parlor that reportedly, allegedly was also a prostitution organization, that sort of thing. That's what I'm talking about. He didn't get early on the right counseling, and he felt that he was being the victim of a certain racism, which is true in the Bay Area. It was a covert racism. But he also wasn't counseling on how to work with the covert racism that is still a problem in the San Francisco Bay Area, even though things have changed a great deal. It's still a problem. Now, any renderings of the Oakland Stadium plan from Ronnie Lott and Fortress? We keep asking for them. I tell everybody that. And if someone from Fortress or the mayor's office in Oakland or anyone connected with it is listening right now, here you go. I said it again. I keep getting asked this question every single day, many times a day in some form or another. Whew. Let's see here. If Lynch came back, wouldn't that put the Seahawks over the cap? I haven't calculated that, I'll check. It counts. I think Ed P would be a better fit. Oh, I disagree, but hey, we can talk about that later. Airplane Blues, yeah, I agree. Zinni, Alden Smith needs to be clean for the NFL to have trust. Yes. Someone call you just saying, or you super saying? I don't know what that means. Neil Parkish, what's your take on players that go to rehab like Alden? Do you think it works? Not sure if players stick it to it long enough or if it's something else. I think it's something else, and I don't think it works. And again, when we talk about players going to rehab, there is a pattern with respect to the Bay Area of young black men who come here from the South, and they're not happy. And it's not, so it's, let's just stick them in rehab. No, give them an environment that is a combination of the best of what they're used to in their home environment and with the kind of nutrient they need in the Bay Area, and also the kind of assistance they need. For example, if they're out, here's something else. Here's an idea. Here's something I really believe is needed. The NFL needs to invest money, not just here, but in NFL cities, in NFL players-only entertainment lounges that are owned by the players and the NFL. Maybe it could be a joint venture between the NFL Players Union and the NFL, so that the players have a place to go, get drunk, they get rides home, they're taken care of, the security guards are there for them, the chefs are there to cook food for them. It's their place. And they can invite in who they want on a pre-screened basis. But the NFL really needs to work on protecting its players from the outside environment. People forget, we're not talking about men in their 40s and 50s. We're talking about men in their sometimes late teens and early 20s. It's a big difference. We all made mistakes back then. I did. So anyway, now, what's your take on players that go to rehab like so on to that? Nick Tuesday, how are you? Do you think any of the owners have seen something similar to the spreadsheet you made for the Raiders financing going forward with the stadium proposal? Nick, I know they have not to this date. Now, hopefully things will change. I know that the Raiders have not shared such a spreadsheet with anyone in Las Vegas who's an elected official or serves as staff for the Las Vegas Stadium Authority. That's a huge problem. They've just told everyone regarding the cost that I point to. The Raiders are aware they are there, but they haven't put a price tag on it. They just say, well, we've got it taken care of. In fact, you know what? Let me see here. Hey, Casper, how are you? Casper says, hi, Zinni. At this point, the ball is completely in Las Vegas' hand, regardless of whatever Oakland does with the land, meaning every relocation vote has to fall on Oakland to have a chance. I don't know what you mean, but the answer is, I'm going to take a stab at what I think you mean. You mean that Oakland has to show that they've got something. They're doing that. Look, the NFL wants to stay in Oakland, okay? Because Vegas is messed up. And they're trying to work out a lot of minutia. So don't think that the NFL as a whole does not want the Raiders to be here. They do. They do. Now, Mr. Dixon says he would like Adrian Peterson at running back over Marshawn Lynch? Really? Do you think AP has enough gas in the tank and hasn't become a China doll? I'm just asking. A person that gets injured a lot? I'm just asking. Willie Razzo, is there any way when the Vegas deal falls through, the NFL can force Mark to sell the team? No. Because I don't see how you can turn tail and come back to the Bay. The amount of disrespect on his part is amazing. I think he would want to sell a team on his own because he would feel like he was boxed in. But also, if you really think through it, he would get a new stadium. If he really thinks about it, he should just work with everyone around here, get the new stadium built, and then sell the team, rather than sell the team without the new stadium built. Just get the thing built, watch your franchise value increase, and then say, okay, I want out. I want to sell my shares, right? Fine. And retire and comfortably. Very comfortably. Let's see here. Good faith, says Dorothy Herta. Laugh out loud. Words that don't seem much to exist in Mark Davis language. Shaking my head. E-Game says if Lynch came he would that put the Hawks over the cap? And I don't know the answer to that question. I think let's see here. Oh, GP Winston. Wait a minute. Zinni, will your interview appear in Las Vegas Review Journal? Yes, it will. It wasn't background. It will run on, I'm told, Sunday, maybe earlier. Tito Jones says it's a bad deal for Mark Davis, and the Raiders don't. The other co-owners of the team have any say-so, something like that. Is it raining hard over there? It may be. I haven't looked outside. I hear like it might be. Maybe that's what that sound is. Let's see here. Oh, Andrew Cipher. Once Beast Mode announces he's coming out of retirement, his contract gets reinstated. Highly doubt they'll want to hold him hostage after paying Eddie Lacy. Let's see. Question about the Raider Nation. Are you a Raider fan? Yes, I am, Gabriel. Gabriel, why do you ask questions like that? Because it's kind of like, I don't get that. You want me to go in and put on my Raider t-shirt and come back? Yeah, I'm a Raider fan. I am. But, okay. Bruce Wayne, I hope Lynch does come out of retirement just to stick it to the Hawks and make them take the $9 million cap hit. Maniac, 5,900. The Oakland A's are starting to promote the team in downtown Oakland. Why can't the Raiders do the same? Excellent question. Well, because they're trying to relocate right now, but they should do that. It would help sell a lot of tickets. They should keep the ticket prices the same. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a second. Okay. The reason why your ticket prices are going up is because of the rent the Raiders pay to the Joe Powers Authority has went up dramatically, from $800,000 to $1.3 million. So that's why you're paying more. And the whole point is to get the Coliseum. The JPA has been running a deficit because of years and years and years of the Raiders paying rent at less than was needed to help the Coliseum break even. That was the huge problem. And so Scott McKibben came in, the new the now not so much newish, but maybe say newish now, executive director of the Oakland County Joint Powers Authority, successfully negotiated a lease deal that has the Raiders paying $1.3 million. So they're trying to recoup that with everything else, hence the increase. That's the reason for what you're experiencing. Now, that's what's going on. Go Cubs. It's 11:09 in Denver. You got to go to bed. Good night. See you. Hey, thanks for joining us, by the way. And hey, this is a good set of numbers here now. Oh, Zinni is the man. Thank you for that. Unstillable, thank you. Bruce Rain says Raiders. Mr. Dixon says, I'd like to be one, Zinni. A guest with 53 years as a Raider, second generation Raider businessman as a third gen. You're on. Bring your son, by the way, Mr. Dixon. In fact, I'm going to leave it to your son to set that one up. That'd be fun. Maybe this week. Why not? Paul Dog, Zinni was looking for your opinion on giving the land for free. Wasn't quoting you. I've always been you've always been a great communicator. Thank you, Paul Dog, and I apologize profusely for misunderstanding what you meant. Thank you very much. Let's see here. Eric could see renderings getting dropped before the meeting next week to give owners as much pause as possible. Yes. I'm praying. We're all praying. Let's see. Hi, Matthew Silva. Hi, Zinni. Can you tell us what you think or know Oakland Lot Group will reveal to NFL before next week's meeting? They will show a kind of rendering or drawing, I am told, that will demonstrate that a new stadium can be built for the Raiders at the same time as accommodating the A's until they get their new stadium wherever it goes. That's the idea. Because it's going to take longer for the A's to build their stadium. That's why. Now, Matthew Silva, hi Zinni, can you tell us what you think or know? I said that. Kyle Johnson, hey Mr. Johnson, Zinni, what do you think the owners will vote? I'm beginning to lean toward the possibility that the owners may vote to table the issue. I'm beginning to think that. Now, if they elect to allow Mark Davis to go to Vegas, I've said it once, I'll say it again, I will chuckle. I hold that allowing Mr. Davis to do that is tantamount to placing a cruel an insulting, cruel joke upon him. They are making him Mo Green. Hey, by a show of yeses, how many people have seen The Godfather and know what I'm talking about when I refer to Mo Green? Just give me a yes. Give me a yes. I'm looking down here. I'm looking down for the yeses. Miguel Rose says yes. Gene Washington says yes. John Marks, yes. 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 Mr. Tarver, yes. Aeroplane Blues, I no idea. No one have no idea who Mo Green is, says Aeroplane Blues. Gabriel says bye. Bye, Gabriel. Barely, yes. Yes. And Cypher Hill, yes. All right. You should set up a Google Hangout with 10 people at a time while live streaming on YouTube. 15-20 minutes roundtable discussion per the group. Then new people join. Good idea, Nick. I saw it, but I don't remember. Radio Z, yes. T.I. Howard. A's once said they entertain playing at AT&T Park while the new Raiders Stadium is built. Yes, they did. But I think A's fans would like that since the park is, face it, great, something like that. Yes, all right. Who's Mo Green? If I could actually show you a clip, well, that would be a copyright issue, so I don't want to do that. Mo Green was a casino owner in Las Vegas who was working with Fredo. Fredo Corleone was Michael Corleone's brother, who the father, Vito Corleone, loved, but, he wasn't the fastest guy, and so Michael was in charge, and Fredo didn't like that. So, at any rate, Michael sent Fredo out to basically manage the casino business in Vegas. But Fredo got carried away. He was, as the line went, banging chicks two at a time and so on, and getting involved in other things he shouldn't have been. But Mo Green was ordering him around because basically Mo got him set up in the casino, his casino business set up, and managed the business, and basically wound up managing Fredo. And Fredo was giving money to him. So anyway, when Michael Corleone came in, he told Mo Green that he was going to basically take his share of the casino business away from him. And Mo Green said, "You're not going to do that. Who are you talking to? I'm Mo Green. My bones built this place, yada, yada, yada." So, a few days later, while Mo Green was getting a massage on a table, a guy came in and shot him in the eye. Mo Green. Now, that's the way he used to do it in Vegas. Those are based on true stories. So my point is, you don't want Mark Davis to be set up as the Mo Green who owes money or who wants to be bought out by or taken over by someone who he has a business deal with, who is a casino owner, whose money he needs to cover a deficit, and maybe something doesn't get worked out. That's a dramatic example, right? I'm not saying that would actually happen, but look at this. There are people who believe that Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones wants to set up Mark Davis to fail so that he can get him out of the league. That's a very kind way of, if you will, Mo Greening Mark Davis. From a financial standpoint, equally brutal. That's why I use the example, okay? Now, let's see here. Oh, I missed some people asking questions. I apologize for that, for missing. Let me see what's going on here. Right. Let's see. Everybody gets the Mo Green. Okay, cool. Now, whose question did I miss? Don't know that I did. Oh, Mr. Raider Boy. Hey, how are you, Mr. Raider Boy? Is Mountain Davis structurally sound? If so, why don't the Raiders open up for the 20,000 people on season ticket wait list? I believe the answer has to do with the ability to raise prices as they've done with the demand that's on the tickets. If they open the tarp, which they could do, decide to do, then they probably believe that that pent-up demand and the ability to pay is somehow frittered away. I'm just guessing. That's an economic evaluation. But also, the Raiders, if the Raiders open up the top deck, that increases the operating cost per game and the labor cost because it's another area that has to be serviced, right? So the Raiders are trying to maintain their margins when at the time when the rents have been increased on them. All right. Now, Mo Davis. Someone said Mo Davis. Willie B says, "What's stopping Mark from committing to Oakland? He's willing to spend 3 times as much in Las Vegas. Any chance of that? Do you mean B of A, Willie? I don't. You said, what's stopping Mark from committing to Oakland? I think Mark was under the impression Vegas was a better deal, and I hope he's realizing it's not. It's far worse. We talked about deficits from the off-site transportation cost and what's caused by the Bank of America debt. We haven't even talked about the relocation fee extensively. We mentioned it even here, but that's another huge problem. So, let's see here. Sue Wong Kong says, I feel like the owners will review the presentation and all vote no. Could happen. Joseph Jones, you reported that the city of Oakland will sue the Raiders if they move to Vegas. Yes, I did. With all the necessary evidence of bad faith negotiations, do you think the city would win their case? Yes. In fact, I think that there is one scenario I personally see that the city would not do where they can wind up owning the Oakland Raiders, given the number of causes of action. That's not hyperbole. That's not hyperbole. They can eminent domain the Raiders and wind up owning the Raider image. And I'm not saying that to be dramatic. That is an honest situation. Let me explain why for those of you who are listening. Because, and I said this before and I'll say it again, okay? And I apologize for missing your questions. Hey, you know what? Hey, folks, time out on posting the questions. Let me explain this. But for this reason, it's not so much that I don't want to be heard. No, but I don't want to miss your question as I'm talking about this, okay? So give me a moment and I'll be brief in my explanation. I'll say this. Because now football teams are anchor tenants in mixed-use developments, which include stadiums. That's necessary in order to finance a stadium. That wasn't the case in the 70s and the early 80s when the Raiders moved. Stadiums were comparably far less expensive to build. Consider that in 1979, the 79 luxury boxes that Mr. Davis wanted upgraded would only have cost $54 million. That's a mere pittance now in stadiums that cost $1.4 billion. See? So that's how much things have changed. So we then, because stadiums could be financed primarily with public funds, they were easier to finance. But what happened over that time is, because football stadiums are anchor tenants, let me complete this thought, a person suing an organization trying to relocate could make the argument, although it hasn't been made yet, could make the argument that the football organization is so important to their development concept, the mixed-use development concept, and the city is involved with and the county with its bonding capacity, that to allow them to relocate would be damaging to that development and the economic development of the city. The city of Oakland could not make that argument in 1982-83, but the California Supreme Court did say that they had a case in filing for eminent domain to basically take the Raiders as a whole. Not just the Emmets, but the Raiders. Okay? That change in position because of the increase in cost to build a stadium has created this climate, and it should be tested in a court of law. Well, if this goes that way. Personally, I hope it doesn't. I hope for the Raiders' sake they stay here. If they're allowed to move to Vegas, it's bad for them all the way around. It just is. Let's see. Did I answer your question, Mr. Jones? I think I did. Wow. Now, Northeast Los Angeles Raiders 13. Hey, how are you? Fortress Group submit their stadium plan and win. Let's see here. I went past. Can we say? Let's see here. Bruce Wayne, please. No. Oh, no insults about Mark Davis. I just don't like that. Please, can we just kind of chill on that? If Jerry Jones tries to mow green Davis, then I hope the good Lord takes him out. And that's me saying it's as politely as possible. Wow, I hope the good Lord doesn't do that. I like Mark Davis a lot. I understand personally what he's trying to achieve and how he feels, and I hope that he sees that Oakland's a better place for him than Las Vegas. I really do. He deserves a brand spanking, state-of-the-art new stadium in Oakland. He deserves a better situation, period, and he deserves the respect of the fans. I know he's made mistakes. I know he said things that bothered people. But let's give the man a chance, okay? Please, I just ask everybody, let's give the man a chance. Now, let's see. Jerry Jones should just worry about his team. Yeah. Thank you, Barry. Appreciate it. Thank you for doing that, Barry. Much appreciated. Thank you. Rick 4777 Las Vegas Raiders. That does not sound right. Arthur Blank agrees with you. Mr. Dixon says, get out of here with that Vegas ball. Ball dog question. Paul Dog says, question, is Mark currently on his lease payments in the Coliseum? Was he ever late on them? No, they're up to date. Bruce Wayne, let's see, Zinni, who are you picking up in the first round? I favor Delaney, the number 44, the defensive tackle from Florida State. That's the person I favor, especially since the Raiders didn't get Dontari Poe. Now, let's see here. This is not a LeBron James fade. This is bald, man. I don't do fades. This is bald. Period. T.I. Howard's Blank's last comments on Vegas were positive. Actually, they weren't. They weren't positive. They just simply said that Mark Davis didn't have the casino problem. He didn't say it was a great deal. I know Mr. Blank. I know how he thinks. He didn't say Vegas was a great deal. He just said that not having Adelson made it easier for Mark from a casino standpoint. But this is where Mr. Blank is wrong. Not having Adelson actually made it harder for him. Because we traded Adelson for a huge debt problem that didn't exist. So Mr. Blank at the time wasn't presented with the numbers where someone could say, well, hey, this is what he has to do to replace Adelson. To which Mr. Blank would have said, oh, yeah, that doesn't look good from an internal rate of return standpoint. Maybe I was wrong. Mr. Blank is a straight shooter. I like Arthur Blank a lot. Now, let's see here. Did I see what I miss here? Does that guy interview you earlier work for Adelson's magazine company? Well, his newspaper company. Yes, he does. Is he using you to stop the Vegas relocation? No, he wasn't. I think that, look, I want to, how do I explain this? Okay. Like this. This is how I explain it. Between Oakland officials, politicians, people like myself who've been heavily involved in the sports issues in Oakland for a long, long time, and Las Vegas people who have the same positions and perspectives, there is a lot of information that can be traded that hasn't been traded because of this rancor. I've been able to talk to Vegas people about how to work with the Raiders, my experience, particularly as a Super Bowl bid host and serving the city of Oakland and everything from a consultant to an intern with a redevelopment agency to a newspaper columnist to head of the Super Bowl bid effort to advisor of the mayor of Oakland. That's 5 different ways. Oh, and then owner of my own media company, that's 6, okay? And I've seen the Raiders from many different perspectives. So I can share that with them, and then conversely, they can share with me how Las Vegas and Nevada politics works, and we could trade information. That's very, very valuable. So that's what Mr. Graney and I were doing today. Ed, from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. We talked a lot off the record. So I don't see it that way, and I don't see people that I've talked to with Vegas as bad people at all. And I really can't afford to, because I've seen some of them at CES before in different ways. So I don't need to have a bad relationship. I don't want to. It's not necessary. And I think that's true for a lot of other people. Now, you can what? You can hate the game but not the player. Does that make sense? All right. Now, let's see. Will be 831 Scott. Will Las Vegas still build UNLV Stadium if the Raiders do not get the votes for relocation? Yes. Bruce Wayne. DeMarcus Walker. Yes, Mr. Wayne. DeMarcus Walker. Thank you very much for that. I know he's not the highest rated defensive tackle, but I think he's the best. He is in my book, and I need to do my mock draft, and I'll do that. M. Young. There's no better location for a new stadium than the current Coliseum site in the entire nation. I agree. Completely. Miguel Rodriguez, can you show the owners your spreadsheet so they can see that Vegas will not work, ultimately leading them down to vote? Yeah, I've been sending it around as much as I can. Frosty the Snowman. What would happen to the Raiders if something happens to Mark Davis? He is not married and has no children. I don't know, Frosty. The Raiders will still remain a going concern, but I want to see Mark Davis married and happy and with his team until, he grows into a ripe old age of 100. Okay? Now, T.I. Howard, I hope you're right about blank being a probable no vote, but I'm skeptical. I'm not. Jason Tarver, just say the city of Oakland does go through with the eminent domain. How successful would you think Oakland would be running a team? Well, they wouldn't. They would commission an organization to run it for them. They would basically maintain the Raiders staff. Running it doesn't mean they kick out everybody. It just means that they run it. They own it, not run it, but own it. That wouldn't be the case at all. And they would own it with Alameda County. I think it would be a huge, huge opportunity, and they would give residents a chance to own a piece of the Raiders. There are a lot of positive developments which could come from such an outcome. There really are. Let's see here. Okay. Nick T-Bay. If the Raiders manage to stay in Oakland, do you think the Raider fans, will be able to have faith in Mark Davis, or will there always be a chip on their shoulder, a lack of trust? I think with some people that'll always be there. I do. In fact, I know it. But not everybody. Thomas Shipples, Raiders and A's need to work together to get stadiums built for both teams at separate sites in Oakland. Want both teams to say okay. Willie B, do you know if any owners that will most likely vote no? If so, who? I know, and I'm not going to say. I'm keeping that list to myself. Mr. Raider Boy, how you doing? You think the vote is going to be pushed back? I think there's that possibility. Hey, Mr. Raider Boy, how many people have seen my spreadsheet? Just as have you seen it say yes, yes, yes? Let me know, okay? Let's see here. What am I missing? Bruce Wayne. So if it doesn't work in Oakland or Vegas, why not at least keep it in the Bay Area? What's stopping Mark Davis from looking in other cities in the Bay Area nearby Sacramento? Well, really, you know what? The Coliseum has the best infrastructure. Okay, so a number of you have seen the spreadsheet. Mr. Marks, yeah, you've seen it. Cool. That's great. Thank you. Barry Lee Zinni, if Oakland was to own the Raiders, they could create a new division called Raiders Sports Authority. That's correct. Hey, thank you. A number of you have seen the spreadsheet. Thank you. Crawford says, DeMarcus Walker owned Michigan in the Orange Bowl. Yes, he did. Yeah, see, DeMarcus Walker to me is actually better than Jadeveon Clowney, and he's better than Myles Garrett. I'm just saying, okay? I know he's not the workout warrior, but when that guy gets in the game and his game faces on, he does well against teams, period. Whew. Now, let's see here. You saw, yes. So everybody did. This is wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. I'm glad you saw the spreadsheet. Thank you. Thank you. This has been another great. I'm actually putting some more meta tags in here, folks. Just bear with me. But let's see here. I haven't properly meta tagged this like I should. Put it there, like so. And then let's see here. Live stream, and there, And there. Okay, and now back to the watch page. There. Okay, and let's see, what do we have here? Been streaming for 1 hour. Now, share again. Put this out. Owners meeting. I'm tweeting this out again, folks. Owners meeting. And I'll get back to answering your questions and giving shout outs to people. NFL. And let's see here. I'll try a different one. Nation. Cool. There. Now, let's see here. 831 Scott. St. Louis was willing to build the Rams a new stadium before they left. Do you think they may try to lure Mark Davis to St. Louis with a new stadium deal if the Vegas deal falls apart? No, because they don't have an option. I mean, anything is possible, all right? But let me put it this way. If the owners say no to Mark in Vegas, Mark will have effectively exercised his options. He doesn't have... I mean, the option doesn't say you can just do this again and again and again ad infinitum. I don't believe. I need to double check that. But I know that there was this time period. I need to reread the resolution and the minutes from the NFL meeting. I'll do that. But unless I miss my case, I believe that the Raiders tried in LA, they failed. They tried in Vegas and failed. And that is pretty much exhausting their options. They can't do this again and again and again. At some point, they've got to stop. Oakland, and here's why. Here's the situation, okay? Because the difference between what the Raiders were doing then and now is that Oakland has a plan and they have financing. So the Raiders can no longer make the case that Oakland isn't ready. Because if the owners stopped it, it would be because the owners believed that Oakland, after so many years, finally got its act together. And also recognized how bad the Vegas deal really was for the Raiders. Let's see here. Jason Tarver, this video needs more likes. I'll take as many likes as I can get, although right now I've got 32. That's pretty good. Let's see here. But yeah, like it, please. Like it. Like it. Give it up to 100. I don't care. That'd be great. Fantastic. In fact, but you know what? More likes, it actually needs... Share it more on Facebook. So you have a Facebook tie. Put it out there on Facebook. Let's see. John Marks corrected me. Thank you. He said Mark Davis said in 2015 St. Louis is not an option. Thank you, John. Eric says if it's not an item and it will be and dubbed the Mark... Oh, hold on a second. Let me go back to Eric's point here. Sorry about that. Eric says if it's not an item and will be and dubbed the Mark Davis rule. One relocation attempt per 15 years or longer unless home market is viable. Say with 22,000 season ticket waitlisted. Ha ha ha! Good one, Eric. I like that. Let's see here. Miguel Rodriguez, if the owners... See, Miguel Rodriguez says... Oh, sorry, Miguel. Where are you there? Where are you? If the owners vote yes, can Mark Davis change his mind and decide to stay in Oakland instead? He could do that. He could do that. Thomas Shipples, why can't the A's and Raiders work together to get two stadiums built? It's a long story, a matter of timing, which I'll get to another way, but I want to do some more research on that history before I talk. I don't want to say anything that's out of school. Mr. Raider Boy, you're very welcome. Thank you. Andrew Cypher, sorry, Zinni. I need this question answered before I go to bed. Yes, sir, I'll do that right now. What would happen to the Davis family if the city ended up owning the Raiders? I don't think anything negative or bad. If the city ended up owning the Raiders, the Davis family, yeah, they would still be around and everything, and I think there would be something worked out in good faith just to make sure that they receive some revenue. But no one in this town would want to actually just do that, put Mr. Davis out in a shameful way. No, they want the Raiders here. But wanting the Raiders here also means retaining the legacy of Mr. Davis and therefore showing his son their proper respect and treatment. That's it. If Mark Davis want that would be it. So that's my first take on that. Okay. And John Mark says, YW Zinni. I don't. Okay. I think I missed something there. Did I miss something? Anyway. Zinni, it's 2021. Where are the Raiders playing in your opinion? Oakland. Or homeless. Let's see. Let's see. It's 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21. If they're in Las Vegas, they'd be in fiscal trouble. And there would be a big problem. So Oakland would be the better bet. Because those numbers just way don't look good. Unless Mark Davis do some miracle after being allowed to go to Las Vegas, if he's allowed to go to Las Vegas, brings Sheldon Adelson back in. And even then, I can't see him doing it without giving up the store anyway, because Adelson say, well, now you're here. You want my money to help you out of debt. You really got to pay me now, dude, because you tried to screw me over before. So, let's see here. Zinni, what do you think of beast mode to Oakland? We talked about that. I like the idea. G. Winston, if Raiders get the votes, since Davis personally committed to Nevada governor, does Nevada have a case to sue if the Raiders stay in Oakland? No. Because Oakland's relationship with Mark Davis has nothing to do with Nevada governor. The Nevada governor cannot sue Oakland any more than Oakland can sue the Nevada. Well, look, they can't sue Oakland for what? Because Davis decided to stay? A promise is a promise, but if it doesn't work out because you're putting him in a bad deal, no. It doesn't say that he has to take the deal even though it's a bad one. It's a bad deal. It's a bad deal. Now, let's see. OpGamer, whatever. Let's see. G. Winston, if Raiders get the votes, since Davis personally committed to Nevada, I answered that one. Let's see. John, thank you. John Bicomo. I don't... whatever. For those of you new, hey, Andrew Cipher, gotta hit the hay, Zinni. One more week, buddy. Let's do this. The Roll-In 100. What's up? How are you, sir? I'm going to go until 11 o'clock. I start a little after 9, and I've been on it for quite a bit, and this has been a fantastic... We've got a fantastic response to this. Thank you all so very much. This has been great, 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 and I'm going to work to grow this in a way that you all have suggested and offered, and I think your ideas have been more than terrific. More than terrific. So, yes, absolutely. But let me see here. I said I'm going to stop at 11. Now, yeah, I'll stop at 11 because I want to watch. I want to eat. I'm tempted to go on, but tomorrow's just Tuesday, right? So, good night, Barry. Corey Brown, does Mark see your streams? He might. I do this as if I think he's going to see the streams. And again, I say this because at some point, if he doesn't see it right now, he might see it later. Again, I like Mark Davis. I really do. And, I'm sorry that this had to happen where we had these acrimonious discussions at a couple of times. But, we all have a love for this city of Oakland. And that's where that comes from. Now, Mexico City Raiders... ? NFL includes global... No. Mexico City Invaders. Not Raiders. Mexico City Invaders. NFL expansion team. Hey, someone called Eat Up Zinni. Thank you. John McComo. I responded to G. Winston Zinni. Okay. Thank you. Frosty the Snowman. Great show, everyone. Frosty, thank you for your contributions. Let's see here. D. Dixon, a pleasure meeting you, sir. Signing off. Set it up with Bossman. I'm down. You got it. I know Bossman is watching. I see you. I see you. Let's see here. Oakland Invaders, 1985. Someone got it. Yes. Thank you, Mr. Marks. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Oh, how long has it been, NFL? Been around a long time. Los Angeles Raiders? Nah. Not happening. Let's see here. Oh... Camilo says, stay in Oakland. Yes. Northeast Raider. Let's see here. There we go. Now. All right. Let's see here. Sorry, OpGamer was just one of these people that comes on and just says things, and I'm trying to allow space for people who have legitimate questions, who are contributors, who are not fooling around. If someone's fooling around, I will ban them like that. And I did. So there. Blocked. Gregory Wilson, can I get a brief of what happened since I left? Yeah. Bill Walter says, any of my 7-year-old son, Raider fan, Little Bill says hi. Hey, Little Bill. Nice to meet you. You have a great dad. And glad you all are watching. Thank you, Little Bill. Thank you. Let's see here. I missed the Sue will call them the California Raisins. Yeah, that's right. Let's see. Let's see here. Let me see here. Let's see here. Stay in Oakland. I missed something. Let's see here. Rolling 100. Wish list beast mode to Raiders, and NFL votes Raiders stay put. Yes. Do you think they'll vote yes in the meeting? You mean less yes for Vegas? No. But again, if they do, it'd be a cruel joke placed on Mark Davis. Just being honest. Do you think the Raiders try to get Richard Sherman? Hey, that would be cool, wouldn't it? Oh, that would be so cool. Richard Sherman and Marshawn Lynch. Seattle Seahawks 2. I like that idea. In Oakland. Just walk in the live stream. Hey, Phil Castro, how are you? Someone asked a question wanting an update. I'll give you a brief. We started out talking about the news that I learned that the Raiders do not own any land in Las Vegas. There isn't even an option that they're aware that they would have to pay the off-site transportation costs, but they haven't told anyone that they've determined what that is. They just say, don't worry about it. They haven't told anyone how they're going to pay the Bank of America loan off, even though that loan places the stadium cash balance into a huge deficit position of, however you look at it, between $152 million and $514 million total over the 30-year lifespan of the lease. And that's just using numbers that were created from the Southern Nevada Tourism and Infrastructure Committee's consultants. All right. Now, we talked about that. And then we talked about the other issue of whether or not the city of Oakland is going to present drawings. We talked about the rumor basically that the Lot Fortress Group and City of Oakland will have a kind of a rolling out of their plan at the Coliseum on Saturday of this week, not Sunday, Saturday. Okay, we talked about that. Then we talked about Alden Smith and Marshawn Lynch versus Adrian Peterson. Those are the primary subjects. So there's your recap. Whew! I did that. Whew! Thank you. Now, I didn't think I was capable of such brevity. I'm so long-winded. It's like, my God. Sherman could play cran tree oil and vinegar. I like it. Let's see. The real Noriega, how you doing? We will know the fate of the Oakland Raiders by this time next week. I think we'll know. One way or the other. I keep hearing that the NFL asked to bid on the property a while back, and they never got back to them, says Jason Cole. Do you know anything about this? Actually, that's not true. And I'll tell you the story, and I'm not trying to diss Jason or anything. I'm just saying that's not true. And what happened was, and if Jason would interview me about this, I could just let him know. But what happened was basically this. In 2015, this comes from the Economic Development Office in Oakland. A friend of mine who works there, I'm not going to say his name, but, his name is, if you know how to do your whatever, but the whole point is this, all right? The NFL was asked to make an offer in 2015 when Floyd Gephardt was involved, and they couldn't come up with the necessary cash to pay the $400 million that was sought at the time. And I'm told that when owners were presented with that fact, their reaction was, hey, the NFL staffers are talking about spending our money. That's our money. You need to check with us first. That's what so there you go. So Jason doesn't have that right. The NFL was given an offer to do that. And for a long time, it was thought the NFL wanted to buy the land at the Coliseum. And so there you go. Now, that was 2015. Now, Mayor Schaaf at one point told me that the NFL never made an offer, but that was under her watch. And Mayor Schaaf didn't have perfect knowledge of this deal, okay? Because at the time. So, there were a lot of moving parts going on when Mayor Schaaf was just getting up to speed with all this in 2015. She was just elected late in 2014. So there you go. Now, but there you go. If during that time, if the city were able to structure a deal, they would have brought it to Mayor Schaaf and said, hey, look, we're ready. But that didn't happen. And Libby was still getting up to speed on understanding how all this works to begin with. So, I mean, that's the other issue. We had a change in regime, and we had not only had a change in regime, we had a change in staff. We changed chief administrative officers. We changed a lot of staff at the top. And that caused a lot of instability in knowledge. So, let's see here. As an NFL owner, I would not want my team in an environment where you could drink, gamble 24/7. Besides, this is Eugene Washington saying this. Besides, look at what they did to OJ, no pun intended. Hey, someone calling like the Pats needed more handouts. Mr. Wayboy says, do you think it's kind of ridiculous the FBI got involved to find Tom Brady's jersey when they could spend their time doing better things? You mean like figuring out basically to what extent the Trump organization is involved with Russia? Just asking. Let's see. Had Ronnie Lott and gang addressed all the concerns the NFL had with their proposal? I'm told they have, and they're still doing that. And they are, if this is an iceberg, and the bottom is all these issues and the top is almost completed, they're right about here. Okay? See that? Now, so there. Oh, is the Lott proposal actually doable in your opinion? Yes. Yes. Miguel Rose, no to the Raiders in San Diego. John Marks says no. Could the Raiders move to San Diego? John Marks says correct. No. George Herta, no San Diego for time. Stay in Oakland. Not a San Diego. Hey, regarding San Diego, the developer down there, the Mr. Masterson, Doug Masterson, his PR person told me that their stadium proposal was just for an NFL team, not necessarily the Raiders. Keep that in mind. Let's see here. John McComo. Amos. San Diego is out of the question as a Raiders forbidden. Okay, fine. Now, all right. We have 2 minutes until I sign off and eat. And, this has been a fantastic response and turnout. And once again, I want to thank everybody else. And tomorrow, Tuesday, I promise a more expansive discussion of this other than just the relocation, more Raider and NFL issues. There's a lot going on. So I promise that will happen. Although I am thinking I do kind of want to see the Flash musical with Supergirl. Although, well, anyway, whatever. But I'll figure out a way to handle that one. I'm a science fiction fan. I have to work on my Comic-Con press credentials as well. Okay, thank you. I will eat up, definitely. Non-Raider question, when do you think the A's will stop playing low money ball and build a contender? I think that'll happen this year. Good night, Rick. Good night. Fresno is way too small for demographic. Yes, it is. It is 10:59 p.m. And folks, FB Lassie says, please give us a time for tomorrow. I will do that. 8:30. I'll put that time right here on hold to it. Time for Tuesday, not 8:30. I'll make it. Let's see here. I'll make it 8:30 because I know people go to bed. 8:30 p.m. PST, Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. PST, which is also 11:30 EST, Tuesday. Okay, there. Jay Seneca, thank you very much for that. Aaron Blaylock, hey Aaron, how are you? Maybe it's time for another league. The NFL holds too many fans hostage with no options. They're a monopoly. Ronald Harrison, thank you. Good night, everybody. Good night. It is now 11 o'clock. Good night, everyone. I'm saying good night. Night, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, 3 of the 4 horsemen. I didn't see Anthony Antonucci tonight. I hope he's well. Thank you, Mr. Richardson in the Philippines. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Tarver. Thank you, Mr. Winston. Thank you, Mitala. Thank you, the Rolling 100. Thank you, Suwa Kong. Good night. Good night, Eric. Thank you. And thank you, Eric, for the shout-out regarding the spreadsheet. Good night. And I'm going to design the spreadsheet, maybe put it online so that people can run it themselves and they don't have to necessarily, hope that they can find a static copy and they can change and test the numbers themselves. I want people to be able to work this themselves so they can understand the dynamics of how this works. I think that's really important, okay? You want the black t-shirt. I'll work on that, but you can actually go to the link down below and put the current shirt on order. I'll work on a design for a black one. I'll probably just have something cool that just says Zinsters, Zen62.com, something like that, you know. Good night, Miguel Rodriguez. Good night, Mr. Castro. Good night, Mr. Washington. Good night, John Marks. Good night. Great show. Great. Thank you for helping, Mr. Marks. You've been once again a tremendous treasure. And that's true. Which of the horsemen? That's Fresno Rados. That's funny. Good night, everybody. I am good night. Good night, and again, thank you very much. Thank you. Good night. Thank you. And I am saying thank you so much. I'm about to pass out. Good night, everybody. See ya. Thank you. I'm gonna say wait. Good night. Good night. Good night. There. Good night. See ya.